Welcome back to Castelletto di Branduzzo as the 60 mini category. The drivers make their way out onto the circuit along with their mechanics, as is the tradition in WSK competition. And they will push off for what will be a spectacular 10-lap final here this afternoon. Nikola Zoloff, he won in dominant fashion at Lonato, and he has continued that form after a bit of a rough start in the rain in the last few days, but he starts out of pole position. He's got 160 points over Enzo Tavanishkel, who's on 90, who's second. Enzo starts right behind him on the second row of the grid. Once again, another massive field of the 60 mini drivers. It's just a 10-lap sprint, just over 12 kilometers, but it's usually one of the most entertaining racing days or events of a WSK racing weekend. 60 mini, they're coming out onto the circuit. We've already raced Final B this morning, but now with the title on the line, we're ready to race the final itself and decide the title for 2019. We qualified 48 hours ago on a wet but slightly drying track, and we raced 20 heats yesterday and the pre-finals this morning. So with that, let's check out some of the action, what's happened thus far this weekend at Castelletto di Branduzzo. Qualifying on a drying track, but was still very greasy 48 hours ago. And the Frenchman, Louis Iglesias in the Formula K, took pole position with a 57.860. Shimo Zheng, incidentally, the Chinese driver, he was fastest in his group. Dmitry Matveev, the Russian, the Siberian, on your screen now, 590. He was fastest in his group, and certainly one of the favourites for the title this afternoon. Shimo Zheng, Chinese driver. In fact, the Chinese drivers have been enforced, as have the Asians. That is Enzo Tavanishkel, 519 for Team Baby Race. And we even had Kien Nakamura from Japan take a heat win outright on his debut in WSK competition here this weekend. The karts are being pushed out onto the circuit. This will be a cracking race. And these kids have absolutely no fear. And they're probably much more relaxed. I can promise you, in fact, that they are much more relaxed than their mechanics, their teams and their parents and family who are watching on from the grandstand here at Castelletto di Branduzzo, which towers over the start-finish straight. The girls with the umbrellas, fortunately they do not need those because it is raining. The rain has eased up finally. It even did bucket down overnight once again. It just did not let up until this morning. You can see the track. It's not exactly rubbered in. There are still damp patches, no standing water on the track anywhere. This 1.25 kilometre circuit that was built nearly 2 decades ago and has been a popular stop-off point for the WSK competition series for more than a decade now. Here is our race director, Mr. Alessandro Ferrari. Last minute instructions to Nikola Zoloff, who's to the left of your screen. Alessandro, who officiated in the FIA Motorsport Games at Vallelunga in Rome a week ago. Back with us as ever for the WSK Open Cup. This mega international field. The nationalities include the Bulgarian on pole alongside the Russian, the Thai in second. Chinese driver alongside him, Yan Puchui. Drivers from the likes of Denmark, the USA, Switzerland, Australia, the Czech Republic, France, and of course the host nation of Italy. But it's the Bulgarian Lion, Nikola Zoloff, 543 for the Italian team driver on pole position. To the right, 590, Dmitry Matveev. The temperature, 7 degrees Celsius. It is freezing, but for Dmitry Matveev, well, that's nothing. He's from Novosibirsk in Siberia. The weather there today, they're expecting a top temperature of minus 12 degrees. That's the high, minus 12 for the Siberian 590 to the right of your screen. This is a positively warm summer's day for Dmitry. who starts on grid number 2 in the 590 Energy Kart. Enzo Tavanishkul at the other end of the scale. He's the boy from Bangkok, Thailand, where the temperature approaches near on 40 degrees Celsius. And he's suffering badly in this weather, like most of the drivers from warmer parts of the world. As the mechanics leave the circuit, this will be an absolutely dynamite affair. The WSK Open Cup, the 60 mini final. Zoloff, 160 points. First in his pre-final, first at Lonato, and he starts out of pole position. The Eastern European from Bulgaria. You can see the helmet. Fourth back to the right of your screen with the Brazilian flag. That is actually the American Brazilian Miguel Costa racing with the USA license. 589. But we can sort of call him the boy from Brazil/United States. Miguel Costa had a fabulous run in the pre-final this morning. Starts on the 7th row alongside Francesco Marenghi. Fabulous race this promises to be. Nicola Zoloff does not even need to win to take out the title. Tavanishkul right behind him for Team Baby Race does need to win. And not that he wishes a disaster on his friend and competitor Nicola, but it would need a catastrophic result for the Bulgarian not to take out the title. But anything, as you know, yes, it's a cliche, can happen in 10 laps as the girls leave the circuit and try and find some warmth here at Castelletto di Branduzzo. And we're ready to race the 60 mini final. Once again, we welcome you to Castelletto di Branduzzo, the second last, the penultimate event of 2019, the Open Cup, and we race next weekend at Adria Karting Raceway for the final time this decade, the WSK Final Cup. Our assistant race director, Mr. Marco Carlino, waves the green flag. The 60cc engines fire into life. This will be dynamite. We'll take a look at the grid for you. Nicola Zoloff, the Bulgarian Lion, on pole position alongside the Siberian, Dmitry Matveev. Enzo Tavanishkul and Jan Pulchui, Jan Sharovsky, and Jimmy Helias. From Oslo in Norway, Marcus Sartor and the Austrian Keanu Bloom, German Skulinov, and another pole, Maciej Gladic. Rashid Al-Dahedi, the WSK Euro Series champion, is alongside the Hungarian Adam Hidej, Miguel Costa, and Francesco Marenghi. Kirill Kutskov, Daniele D'Orso, August Turbo for RS competition, the fastest qualifier, Louis Iglesias, and then the 10th row of the grid, the Russians, Maxim Orlov, and the Russian son of a Top Gun from Sochi, Maximilian Popov. Jules Carunta, Christian Romeo, Newman Chi tries to drone in on the field in front of him. He's alongside the American James Ogazzi, Kirill Titiev, Yinderik Peschel, Zhao Yusung from China, Stefan Antonov, Rene Lammers on the 15th row of the grid. The son of the 1988 Le Mans 24-hour winner, Jan Lammers, the boy from Zandvoort in the Netherlands, alongside Shimo Zhang from China. Kian Fardin on the 16th row of the grid alongside Patrick Fraboni. For Newman Motorsport from Melbourne, Australia, Peter Butzinellis. And the Swiss driver, Kilian Yosseron, out of grid number 34. Stand by, because for the following 10 laps, you will barely take a breath. This promises to be something else. The Lonato race winner, the series leader, the Bulgarian Lion, Nicola Zoloff, on pole position. We race, and Matveev has missed the start badly, almost runs Marcus Sartor in the other energy kart into the grass. Sartor does recover, Enzo up into second place. No mistake from Nicola Zoloff, he's already being hounded by Enzo Tavanishkul. So the series leader, Nikolai Zolov runs P1. Right behind him is Tavanishkul. Clean start. There's Matviv trying to recover a position. Louis Iglesias has come from so far back. He's in position 5. The fastest qualifier 48 hours ago. As the field come around, and we've got a full course yellow. An incident further back in the pack for Jules Caranta, Jindrik Peschel, and Zhao Yul-sun. Full course yellow off screen at the far part of the circuit for those 3 mentioned drivers. In fact, it's at the exit of turn number 2 where the drivers are coming past now. The drivers look to be okay, but the karts are wedged under the barriers here, not in a safe position to continue on. But the drivers are up and okay. As we go full course yellow, which gives us a chance to check the order as they raced for all of about half a lap there. Zolov is in P1 from Tavanishkul in P2, Matviv 3, Sharovsky, Skulinov, Elias, Bloom, Marcus Sata, Kirill Kutskov, and Jan Puchui. Position number 10 for the Chinese driver ahead of August Kurtabo, Marengi, Rashid Al-Daheri, Gladic, Costa, Maximilian Popov up into 16th from Adam Hidaj. Christian Romeo, Louis Iglesias has now fallen backwards to 19th. And Daniele Diorso rounds out the 20. Faraboni, good start from Kilian Yosseron up to 22nd. After just half a lap of racing, 1 lap and we will go green. So it was just because the karts were dislodged into the barriers. But the drivers are okay. The possible exception of James Agozzi, the American, going through in the Tony Kart 515, which with what looked to be quite a severe vibration. The right side pod for the American still vibrating quite badly. He is still circulating ahead of Orlov and Newman Shi. So Sun is out, Jules Caranta, that's bad luck for the boy from Saint-Tropez in the south of France, and also the Czech driver Jindrik Peschel. So they will complete the 3rd lap under full course yellow, and then the green flag will fly and we will race to the checkered flag. Nikolai Zolov, 240 points now in the virtual championship from Tavanishkul on 150. And Matviv 3rd with 122. We try again. The sun trying to break through the cloud and the fog here at Castelletto. Tavanishkul glued to the back of the Bulgarian. They come up to the line. Here comes Enzo. We're green into turn number 1. Jan Sharovsky tries to fight his way up onto the podium. Goes down the inside of Dmitry Matviv. But the Siberian in the energy cart closes the door. There's another Russian right behind. August Turbo looks as though he has come to grief at the exit of turn number 2, along with one of the energy carts, Francesco Marengi. So Tavanishkul tries again. He's in 2nd place. Right behind him, the Siberian, Dmitry Matviv. Jan Sharovsky in position number 4. Do not discount the pole in the remaining 2nd half of this race. At the moment, he's 1 step off the podium. He's got a Russian in front of him, a Russian behind him. As the race is led by the Bulgarian, the series leader, the Lanato race winner, Nikolai Zolov for team driver. Enzo Tavanishkul in 2nd place, desperate to take the victory for Team Baby Race. They scatter coming onto the straight. Lammers, Popov, Fardin, Rashid Al-Daheri, the WSK Euro Series champion, way down the field in 21st place. The first 5 starting to pull away. That's Kerman Skulinov in the Formula K kart. In position 5. Shadows Jan Sharovsky down the inside. Goes the Russian Dmitry Matviv. Up into position 2, Tavanishkul, concentrating on taking the lead, and he was passed. Dmitry simply says, if you won't have a go at the leader, I will. The Bulgarian, the Russian, the tie, and then Jan Szarowski from Poland in position 4. The WSK Open Cup, the 60 mini final, under severe pressure, trying to go 2 in a row, is Nikola Zoloff. Down the inside, 2 in 2 laps. What a move by the Siberian. Dmitry Matveev puts the series leader back to second. Jan Szarowski tries to go through, and it's Skulinov who takes the both of them. The Russians now 1 and 3, split by the Bulgarian, the series leader, Nikola Zoloff at half race distance. There's Tavanishkul, back to 5. The baby race Paralin that was trying to take the lead. He's now not even on the podium, and he's being hassled by Keanu Bloom. Also for team driver in 5.44. 4 laps now remaining as they cross the line. Matveev 1, Zoloff 2, and it's Skulinov in the Formula K kart, who has left Szarowski and Tavanishkul behind. Bloom, Sartre in 7th from Jan Puchui, Kutskov. Jimmy Helias, the Frenchman, rounds out the 10 ahead of Maciej Gladic. And O Menino do Brasil /USA, Miguel Costa. He's a spot ahead of Hudej. Yorsol, the fastest qualifier, Louis Iglesias, Kilian Yosseron. What to try from him from the back of the grid. He's passed 17 karts to be in 16th place. Unlikely to make the podium, but he may find his way into the top 10. There's Tavanishkul in the middle of that pack. It's not for the lead, it's not even for the podium at the moment, which is Matveev, Zoloff, and Skulinov. If they fight, the following 3 will catch them. Keanu Bloom runs a little bit wide. Dmitry Matveev from Zoloff, who will try and take the lead. Of course, the race here was won 12 months ago by the Belgian Ian Eichmans, who watches on from his home in Belgium as he prepares for the 2020 WSK season with the Cosmic Racing Department in the OK Junior category. Dmitry, the Russian in the energy kart. Zoloff does not need to win the race to take the title, but he would dearly love to go 2 in a row. He took 2 heat wins yesterday in variable conditions, in the wet, in the dry. And he runs in 2nd place with 2 laps remaining. There's Skulinov. He's driven superbly in the Formula K car to be in position 3. This time Tavanishkul goes wide. He's back in 6th place as Jan Szarowski catches the leaders. The Pole is the fastest driver on the track as Zoloff retakes position 1. Trying to go 2 in a row. He's got the Russians behind him on this, the penultimate lap of the 60 mini final. The WSK Open Cup here at Castelletto di Branduzzo. Here comes Szarowski. The Pole is now up onto the podium. He splits the Russians as Gorman Skulinov immediately fights back in the Formula K kart. Drags Szarowski, Bloom and Tavanishkul back into the battle. This race will be won surely by either Matveev or Zoloff as the following 4 continuing to fight. This is the last lap of the race. From Sofia, he tries to go 2 in a row. The blue helmet, the Siberian, the energy kart of Dmitry Matveev, position 2. Trying to take him, but the team driver from Bulgaria, absolutely in dynamite form, German Skulinov, has fought his way back into position 3 meanwhile. 3 passing opportunities coming up, including right now at the end of the Lakeside Straight. He white lines it. Around the outside goes Matveev. Almost runs into the back of him. They touch. Oh, it's getting ragged. Ricky Bobby, eat your heart out. This is on. The final few corners. Surely it won't end like last year. Into the final turn. Matveev goes deep. It is the boy from Siberia, Dmitry Matveev, with a spectacular victory here this afternoon. Zoloff 2nd, but with that takes the title. And German Skulinov, 2 Russians on the podium here this afternoon. What a finish to the 60 mini final. Dimitri Matveev takes it by 0.2 of a second. Let's take a look at the highlights of one incredible 10-lap sprint. Zolov from pole position, led initially from Tarbanishkal. Matveev and Sartre in the two energy carts came together on the start. The race was briefly yellow flagged due to carts in the barriers. The drivers are fine and we raced with incredible ferocity to the checkered flag. German Skulinov with a move of the race on the back straight, going past both Enzo and Jan. Matveev and Zolov, they traded positions. Nikola does not go two in a row, but he does take out the title. He led up until the last lap. He went defensive to defensive, Dimitri Matveev. Look at this. Around the outside, they touch. It was NASCAR style on the final lap. He got the run on the exit, did not relent, turned in at the last possible moment. And the driver from Siberia, where the temperature, although it is freezing here in northern Italy, is 20 degrees less than it is here this afternoon. But the Russian is white hot. Oh, that's a cliche. But he takes a fantastic victory. Dimitri Matveev, the Russian, wins it for the Energy Cars team. Nikola Zolov second. And German Skulinov third on the podium here this afternoon. What a race that was. Keanu Bloom, whilst all that was happening, got by to finish fourth from Shirosky, Tarbanishkal, Kutskov, Jan Puchui, Marcus Sata, and another pole, Maciej Gladic, finishing in 10th place. Elias Hidet, Miguel Costa, Daniele D'Orso, Rene Lammers, Maximilian Popov, Cristiano Romeo. Louis Iglesias has had a pretty good weekend. He can hold his head up high. He's shown us his pace. Kilian Yosser on good truck from the back of the grid to finish ahead of Antonov, Orlov, the two Russians. Zhang, Newman Chi, Peter Butsinellis, Fraboni, Zhao Yu-sun did continue on. Egozzi, August Turbo, and Francesco Marenghi brings it home in position 29. Matveev takes the win with that his second in the series, but Nikola Zolov is the WSK Open Cup champion for 2019. 220 points to the Bulgarian, as you can see to the right of your screen. Matveev second and Enzo Tarbanishkal third on 120 points. Stay with us on WSK.it, the podium presentation for 60 Mini in just a moment. Bubble. podium for the 60 mini category. That was one spectacular race here this afternoon. We will award the podium for the race immediately following with the title for the Open Cup for 2019. It was a fantastic drive. We've got two Russians on the podium. Third place in the race here this afternoon from Russia, German Skulov. Second place in the race here this afternoon, the Bulgarian Lion, Nikola Zolov. The winner of a fantastic race here this afternoon from Russia in the energy kart, the Siberian, Dmitry Matveev. The third place trophy to the Russian, German Skulinov. The second place trophy in the race this afternoon to the Bulgarian, Nikola Zolov. The winner of a spectacular final, the Russian, Dmitry Matveev. And the national anthem of Russia.
Vabbè, comunque tu come scritto? CH Rome. Comunque tu, se tu apri Safari o Chrome, qualsiasi dei due tu apri, tu poi da lì devi dire qual è la pagina principale che vuoi avere. Puoi avere Yahoo, Bing, tutto, tu digli che vuoi Google.
The podium for the race here this afternoon, German Skulinov, position 3 in the Formula K. Nikola Zolov, team driver, comes home second. And the Russian in the energy kart. What a race that was, Dmitry Matveev. German, Nikola and Dmitry to the top step of the podium. And of course, we will see them in action next week. Adria Karting Raceway, the WSK Final Cup. What a race! The 60 mini final. The boys step down from the podium, but stay with us because we do have the championship trophy to award here this afternoon. For the championship, may have only come second, but he's taken out the title. In third place in the WSK Open Cup for 2019, 125 points for Team Baby Race. The boy from Bangkok, Thailand, Enzo Tavanishkul. Second place in the energy kart from Russia, 152 points, Dmitry Matveev. The WSK Open Cup champion for 2019 from Sofia, the Bulgarian Lion, Nikola Zolov. The third place trophy to Enzo Tavanishkul of Bangkok in Thailand for Team Baby Race. Second place, the Russian, Dmitry Matveev, 152 points. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the 2019 WSK Open Cup, 220 points, Nikola Zolov. Congratulations to Enzo, Dmitry and Nikola, and we will see you next week just up the road, Adria Karting Raceway for the WSK Final Cup. The podium for the 2019 WSK Open Cup, Enzo Tavanishkul, Dmitry Matveev, and the new champion, Nikola Zolov. Stay with us on WSK.IT. The OK final in just a moment.